So the other tutorial that I thought I would make is just to show you how I make these. So these are the floss minders, or the floss drops, the ring bling, whatever you want to call them. And I've got a few here that I've already made, so I thought I'd just show you how I make them, again with really simple stuff that you're going to have around the house, nothing special at all. So as I said, there's some that I've already made. Obviously one of the things you're going to need are these. So these you can buy in lots and lots of places. They are the glass cabochons. So they come in two parts with the metal base and then the glass cabochon that fits in the side. And I've got some oval ones, I've got some smaller round ones, I've got a big long one. But as I said, they come in all different shapes and sizes. So there I had a heart-shaped one, just whatever you fancy really. I also use these as well, which are just some little jump rings, and I'll show you what I use those for in a minute. Not everybody uses those, so see what I do with them, see if you like it or not. A pair of little snips. I tend to like really fine little scissors for this job. Some glue. Again, if you saw my last tutorial for making the bobbin pins, if I can't do it with Gorilla Glue, then I don't do it. So I like the brush and nozzle, and I'll tell you why again when I get to it, why I like this particular glue. And then what you're going to need lastly is some images that you want to use. You do have to be a little bit careful with copyright and things like that, but I found some useful images in this sticker book, which I know a lot of people have got. I've also got to use a William Morris postcard that I had from a box of William Morris postcards that I've got. And then I've got some printed images. These are all ones that I've made before. And these are some images here of some of my Stitch Mania projects that I want to try and make some floss minders for. And then this one and this one are images that I've actually taken out of the sticker book, and I've just put it onto this. So what I've printed onto here is just a thin card, but it's really nice and smooth. So it's a good quality thin card that I'm then going to use as my basis for my images. So the first thing to do, actually, let's do it on the William Morris card, is to decide what images you want and how they're going to look. So what I do basically is just take the little glass drops and I just move them until I find something that I'm happy with. There, and just find something that I'm happy with. So I've actually already decided that I'm going to do this little fella here with his strawberry, and then this fella here I'm going to capture as much of him as I can with this oval block. Now, because of the way the camera's sitting, it looks like the oval block is a little bit cloudy. It isn't, it's just the way it's sitting. So in order to make these, what you're going to do is, using the brush, where are we? The brush on the Gorilla Glue, you're going to brush the back side of your cabochon with enough glue to cover the back. So I'm trying, it doesn't have to be thick, because obviously this is super glue and you're only trying to stick a glass cabochon to a piece of paper, you're not trying to repaper a wall. But it has to be a good coverage, because the most important thing when you make these cabochons is that when you put it on, is that you press it down really well. Because otherwise what will happen, if you don't press it down really hard, what will happen is within the cabochon you'll get some bits where it's really attached to the paper, some bits where there's a slight gap, and whilst it won't come off, when you look at it, when you've made your floss minder, you'll be able to see like a slight shimmer. So what you want is like that. So it's sat on the paper completely clear. So I'm just going to do this fella up here. And again, I'm just taking my glue and making sure I'm covering the whole of the back. Try not to get any little bubbles in, but you can press those out. This is where you find you've stuck the cabochon to your finger. And then just going to twist this around because I'm sat slightly to the side. Pop the cabochon down. And can you see, you need to squeeze it so hard that all of those little shimmery lines come out. Because otherwise, once it's dry, you'll be able to see them. So there's my first two done. Now, on this sheet of paper, I've got some other ones that I'm going to choose. So I think I'm going to try and get one for Isabella Johnson. Now when I've printed these out, I've scaled them so that they fit well onto these cabochons. You want it so that there's no white, sorry I'm sitting off to the side so it makes more sense to me, there's no white at the edges. Okay, now you can get all different shapes of these cabochons as I've said, so maybe if I'd have been able to find a rectangle one, that would have suited it even better. This is a Pineberry Lane one, and if I centre it nicely, I'll get just a little bit of black at the edges, but most of it will be over the design. And for the little blackbird one, I decided what I really wanted was just the bee skep. So I'm going to put that there. And then over here, I was going to use this one. Sometimes you just need to give these a bit of a wipe, for my polar bear and my little fella in the boat. And then this one I was going to centre, oops, you can't see that, I was going to centre on this skull at the bottom. So you just go ahead and put all over the back. So really make sure that it's super squished down. Okay, now I'm going to do the rest of those. You don't need to watch me do them. So I've stuck all those down, and you need to just let them dry for a few minutes. The reason I like the super glue is because even on printed images, the image doesn't move. So I tried this before with some wetter glue, and what I found is that things that I'd printed, the glue caused the image to sort of run and move before it had time to dry. So that's why I really like the super glue. So now I'll go back to this one because it's had a bit of a longer to dry. All you're going to do is cut around your image. So there's my, and the reason I like these is because they're curved. So you want to get just under the bevel of the dome. And there we go. And then all you have left to do is to put it nice and straight into the casing. So again, this is where the, I don't know if you can hear, but my daughter is giving her father hell. But I'm in here making these. So this is again where I like the brush, because you can get a good coverage in the base, and then just make sure that you press it in really well. Now I have got a little bit of glue on the top of there, but I can sort that out in a minute. So I'm going to do that with the rest of them, and then I'll be back to show you what we've done. There they are, all made up. And if you have managed to get a little bit of glue on the front of the glass, then all you need to do is just get a little bit of acetone and give it a wipe over, and it will come up just fine. And in fact, I'll probably give all of these a wipe over, because I am a mucky pup sometimes when it comes to these. So the reason that I use these, and let's take the bee skep one, because it just so happens that I have the ring here with most of the colours on for the bee skep. You can, for most of these, just slip your floss minder straight on like that. But I don't like, there we go. I don't like it being at right angles to my thread tags. So all I do is just put a little ring on like that, so that my floss minder sits in the same direction as my threads. So this is the set of threads that I've got for the bee skep by Blackbird Designs, and now it has its own little matching tag. The other reason that I like to put these on is because I very often use the much larger size ring, and these little ones won't fit on there. So again, that's when I put one of these on. Now these ones, these cabochons, are meant more to be pendants and things like that. So in actual fact, they need just that little ring on there. And I like the fact that it moves about a bit more on my ring. And that's how I make them. Very simple, very easy, very quick. I hope you have fun making them.